Good morning. How are we all this morning? It's Linda I am Linda from beautiful Brisbane, Australia. Welcome to today. We're going to do part 2 of our complex PTSD and learning how to trust again, because we definitely have had, turn the phone off, everything stripped away from us, okay? Now, let's just pull up today's chart. If you're here for the replay, do a hashtag replay. And if you're here and you drop in, say g'day. It'll be wonderful to see you here. I've had great feedback. Sorry, my mind's all over the place this morning. Can you tell? Don't worry, it's normal. Okay. Now, 6 steps to how learning. I missed my 2 out. Anyhow, we're learning how to trust again after we've experienced serious trauma. All right? Now, yesterday we talked about how changing the brain takes effort, repetition, and time, and we have to have a consistent and committed effort for our health. Now, what that looks like each day for you, if you journal what you want to do that day, okay, and then you go that night and you actually sit down and have a look at how much you're able to see that you did or didn't do, it gives you time of self-reflection where it brings you into an awareness of yourself, and it's not to give yourself a hard time about what you couldn't do or haven't done or wanted to do and didn't get done. It's about going, I can now see where the CPtsd is interrupting my life. Okay? We want to build that awareness in ourselves so that we can pinpoint each moment that our brain jumps into trauma mode and we don't get a choice as to what we're doing. This is important. Okay? It's not about going back to the past. It's not about dredging up memories. It's about being aware of when our physicality is shut down because our brain has gone. Actually, this always reminds me of Lost in Space, when the robot had come out and his arms are flying, he's going, "Danger, Will Robinson, danger." Because it's like our brain goes, "You're not safe, keep me safe." Yeah, I know. Sense of humour and all, but we've got to keep our sense of humour too. But that's what it's like when we begin to identify the moments when our brain has gone, "Oh, I'm not safe." We can feel it in our body because our body wants to run for the hills. I've been at gym for quite a significant amount of time, especially for me, and I can be and I do the one thing I learnt the hard way, just do one thing, because that's what the brain feels comfortable doing. So I go and I do a gym bike. For me, it's about getting out of the house. For you, get whatever you need into the house or use YouTube, okay, for exercise, just to get air into you. Now, what we need to be doing is becoming aware of when we want to get something done, and it can be as basic as wanting to get housework done, any form of, like, dishes, but, get our washing done. But all of a sudden we realise that we're shut down. And like I was saying, I can be sitting at the gym on this bike, and next thing you know, my body's going, "Danger, danger," and I'm sitting there going, "What? I've been here so many times, it's habit." And yet my brain, for some reason, and we can never know why, it just triggers into, "You're not safe, run." And so what I've learnt to do in those moments now, so once we become aware of our physicality, then we can go, right, I'm going to breathe slowly and feel how far you can get your breath down into your body. And I repeat this mantra over and over and over, or affirmation, or whatever your language is, okay? And I just go, "I am safe." So I repeat it for my brain, but then I feel it. I make that feeling come in and build it up inside of me that I am safe. And that way I've ridden out the panic attack, okay? There have been times when I have been triggered at gym and I've had to walk out, okay? and that's okay. Sometimes it's so overwhelming that I just got to get up and walk out. But the thing is, remember, we've got to be consistent and committed. So I'll go back the next day because I want to develop consistency in my brain, and I'm committed to me being able to be well again. Okay, now I want you to take that bundle of information and go, right, where's one area and only one thing, okay, because your brain just likes to do one thing at a time. And as a woman, I can tell you our brains are like super freeways or super highways, and we want to do a gazillion things at once. But in order to reclaim our lives, we want to focus on one thing at a time in order that the brain becomes used to that habit, and then it becomes easier to recognise when the brain's feeling triggered into feeling unsafe, okay? So in order to develop that awareness of what's happening, we need to focus on our thoughts and emotions as you become aware of what you're doing. So as you're going about your day-to-day life, whether it's, heck, even if it's sitting in a lounge chair, okay, build into yourself that awareness of what your thoughts are, how you're feeling, okay? And then if you're at the kitchen sink, build your thoughts into it. If you're at work, build that awareness of what your thoughts are, what your feelings are, because you want to know if you get triggered. You want to know that you can take back what's been taken from you due to the events in your life. Okay, and this is the next part of that, the next part of our bundle, is take time to listen to the signals your physical body is sending. Now, if we want to eat chocolate, we're pretty certain that the body's saying that, right? Okay? But the thing is, we've got to build an awareness around when we are really hungry and when we're just thinking we're hungry because we want to eat to avoid feeling something. We want to avoid doing something. We want to avoid thinking about something. We don't have a solution for an event that's happening. Okay? And it's not just food. Okay, that was the easy, quick pull it off the shelf. It's in every aspect of our life that will pervade. Okay, so you want to be able to build that awareness on a thought, emotion, and physical level of what's happening for you. Now, if you say to me, and you're cranky, okay, oh, I already know that, you don't. What you are is cranky about your situation, and I hear you. Okay, I hear you. But the thing is, we have to decide whether we want to remain cranky or we want to put these steps into place, and, you know, you can grumble about them if you need to. I'm all good with that. I've done enough of that. Or we want to shift our attitude to change our altitude and get on with this, okay? I prefer just get on with it. I want you to teach yourself to respect your opinion as much as you respect the opinion of others. Now, this is challenging if we've come out of an abusive relationship, because our instinct is to shut everyone off and not connect, okay? With the CPtsd, our brain wants us not to connect with anyone or anything, okay, which goes against what is actually built into us, which is to be people who belong with each other, okay? So you've got an internal battle going on there alone that you can become conscious of. And be aware too that in wanting to connect, our brain can also make us go into anxiety, but we've got to push through the physicality of that as well. That's a whole other chat show. But respect your opinion. Now, when you respect your opinion, it doesn't have to remain the same. You don't have to have it right. You don't have to have it perfect. And you are allowed to speak it out loud and play with your opinion as to whether that really sits with you, or was that an opinion formed under the pressure of being abused. Okay, there is a big difference. And remember, our brain wants to go back and keep hold of beliefs that were formed in a different situation. We're allowed to change our beliefs about our life especially, and where we want to go and how we want to be and what we want to do, okay? So play around with, people who respect you, and you want to say, well, at the moment, this is what I'm thinking about this, but I want to think about it a bit more, okay? And that's okay. And if you're in a situation where you're having a relationship, you're allowed to say, let's come back to this when I've thought about it some more, okay? It really is important that you take time to solidify anew what your value is around certain issues as well, because after abuse, after trauma, we have so much ripped out of us that we can feel unsteady inside of ourselves, even having an opinion. So build up to it, even if you have to journal out key points about it, then sit down and you can always discuss what's happening for you. Okay, I do this often with my adult kids. We have a discussion and we go away and think about things, and then we come back, and it's mutual. Okay, mutual respect about the fact that we're changing and observing different things in each other. Reassure yourself that you know yourself more than anyone else. You do. You might not be conscious of it, but you do know yourself better than anyone else. Unfortunately, under the trauma banner, it can make us feel like we don't know anything anymore. It will take time to rebuild that sense of trust in myself, okay? Trust in my ability to make a decision, because what happens is we can get flashbacks of when we weren't allowed to make decisions for ourselves. I've certainly been in a situation where I was not allowed to make a decision about money that I earned too. Okay, so in a marriage, and I had no say over money that I earned. And it didn't matter which way I went about it, I had no say. Okay? So we can bring back memories, but what you want to do is reinforce to yourself, I have the ability to make decisions for myself now. And I can actually go and learn how to make a better decision, say for argument's sake for me, about money and what I do with it. Give yourself permission to be a student of life, and you're going to learn how to do your life in a whole different way, no matter what the trauma's brought into your life. And trust that you can do this. You're an intelligent individual, okay? And you want to get on with your life. So trust in you more than anyone or anything else. It can be hard if somebody comes against us and we have to take a step back, because we know that we're rebuilding trust within us. But again, the dynamics of that are a whole other chat show. But what you need to do now in the most sensitive phase is trust yourself that you need to step back. All right? The rebuilding of trust within us takes time. We need to relearn to trust our instincts, okay? And very deep within it. So it's layer upon layer. We build that trust to the point where we know that And it doesn't matter how or why, but we know that this path is right for me. Okay? I can't tell you how many experiences I've been through where people have had less than favourable opinions about the choices I've made, especially when it comes to walking away from a marriage that on the outside looks fantastic. You've got it all. What's your problem? Why would she leave that? He's fantastic, and so on and so on. But I made decisions that I knew that long term, okay, remember, you're looking at a bigger picture here. You're not looking at just today. We're rebuilding today, but we're looking at a bigger picture where we're going to have a healthy, happy, and whole life. Other people can't see that you're doing that. You don't owe them an explanation unless they want to sit down and be a genuine friend. And you want to build that trust for your life into you, okay? It's hard. It's challenging. It hurts when other people don't even want to talk to you about the changes and the positivity that you want in your life. But I want you to remember this. It's not their life. You've got your life, your one life to live, and you want to make the most of it to be fulfilling and to help others in whatever field that you choose to work in. And when we're bound together like this in a space where we love and care for each other, then anything else should bounce off. Okay? We're not taught that. We haven't been raised this way. When I say we haven't been raised this way, remember that most of our life, especially people my age, has been keep it secret, keep it safe. And that's not just about childhood sexual abuse, childhood trauma, anything like that. It's about the actual dynamics that happen in your family. Okay? So sometimes I have to think and be careful. Can I say this or not? But I know that my mum, who's now passed away, has told me of incidents that happened for her and other people there, and everybody just looked the other way. So, make wise decisions. Now, as you're going through this process of learning to trust yourself, I want you to remember to ask questions. What would you advise someone else to do in your situation? Okay? And then take it on board, would you do that for you? Is that part of who you are now, today, and where you want to progress with it? Okay? Or is it something that you've had to carry forward and you want to dump it now and you want a whole different set of advice? And that's a good thing. It's always a good thing to ask good questions too. All right? Start believing in the kind words and compliments others give to you. Because let's face it, believing that we're anything negative, and look, I think we could all sit here today and go, I could list you pages and pages of all the negative things I thought about myself, and it didn't work for me. So let's take a risk on believing the kind words and compliments that other people give me and see if they're true. See if what other people is telling me is true. And it turned out it was. Okay, I actually did this myself some years ago, and it actually turned out I am kind and I am caring and I am loving and etc., etc. So then what it was able to do for me was make me realise that everything the narcissist said to me and everything that people have judged me for over the years is just not true. Okay? And I know for a fact they're not true about you either, because they're coming from a toxic space. All right? So you've got to refute the chatter that's going on in your head and say, no, I am kind, I am generous, I am caring, and I want to get up and I want to reclaim my life, and I'm going to go and do things a whole lot differently to how I was raised, what I was taught, but the thing is I can learn along the way too. Okay? And give yourself the empathy, the compassion, the understanding, the time that you give to others as well. Okay? Because I know that you give lots. You absolutely give lots. But now we have to train ourselves to trust ourselves, to give it to ourselves, and that way we get rid of a whole bunch of baggage that we don't even need to examine, because we're giving to ourselves what we will and can do, give to others. Okay, if you have any questions today, feel free to pop them down in the comments below. Okay, if you're watching via YouTube, remember to hit subscribe for the latest video. I want to thank you all for watching. It's been wonderful interacting with everybody who's enjoying the videos and enjoying the information. Remember, if you need to, because our memory is absolutely useless in the beginning, journal. Write it out, write it down, stick post-it notes up. I do things like this. I have pieces of cardboard that I stick on my computer to remind me of what I'm doing. I have little books from Kmart. My girlfriend gave me this, my bestie. And I make copious amounts of notes of what I've got to do, days, cross it out. And that's for the notes, to get it out, to get it down, and it helps to unjumble all the cross wires that are going on in our brain when I write it down. I used to make, massive lists. I don't anymore, just the first few things. And then I also have a diary that's dated because I need to be able, and it's week at an opening. Hi, Panda. And I need to be able to see what I'm doing for the week, and it just sits in front of me. I don't engage with it. I just go, right, that's that day. All good. But the list, so the list in the little $4 book from Kmart is what I engage in every day. I make it of a night, okay, so that my brain is focused, all right? Okay, thanks for joining in today, and I will see you again tomorrow. Thanks for responding and interacting. I really appreciate it. All right. Bye for now.